Hey y'all, Crystal here. Today we're going to make this crochet blanket square, and we're using number 4 medium worsted weight yarn and a 6mm crochet hook. I'm using Lion brand woolies. You'll need about 30 yards for this square. And my Furls Odyssey in red. This stitch pattern is worked in the round, so we're going to start with the magic circle. We're going to place 12 double crochet in the magic circle for round 1. Pull that tail to close the magic circle, and then we'll join our round by slip stitching to the top of the first double crochet we made. So those first 2 chains we made coming out of our magic circle do not count as a stitch here. Alright, to start round 2, we're going to start with the chain 5, which counts as the first double crochet and chain 2. And we're going to double crochet back into the same stitch, creating our first corner here. In the next 2, we're going to double crochet 2 together. Now we'll chain 1, and then now we're going to create our next corner by placing a double crochet, chain 2, back into the same stitch, place another double crochet. Now we'll repeat that around. Double crochet 2 together, chain 1. Next is our corner. Double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet in the same stitch. Then we'll keep repeating. Double crochet 2 together and chain 1. On our last side here, we have 2 stitches left to do our double crochet 2 together and chain 1. Then we're going to slip stitch to the 3rd chain to join the round. You'll have 24 stitches. The chain 2 spaces are our 4 corners. Okay, for round 3, we're just going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space to get started. And then we'll start with our chain 3, which counts as our first double crochet. Double crochet back into the same chain 2 space, chain 2, and now place 2 more double crochets in the same chain 2 space again. Now we're going to double crochet in this first stitch after our corner. Now we're going to front post double crochet around our double crochet 2 together, which is this stitch. Yarn over. When you front post, you go around the post of the stitch, and since it's 2 joined, it's going to be this double crochet 2 together piece. Going from the front to the back, yarn over, pull that yarn through and up. Now just make a double crochet. That pops out our texture there. Now we have that chain 1 that we did after our double crochet 2 together, and we're going to place a double crochet in that space made by the chain 1. Then we'll double crochet in the next double crochet stitch, and that brings us to our next chain 2 space, where we will place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. Now we're going to repeat that side 2 more times around. So we'll start with the double crochet in that first double crochet after our corner. Front post double crochet around our DC2 together, and then work a double crochet in the chain 1 space after. Double crochet in the top for the next double crochet, bringing us to our corner again. Place 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the corner. Then we'll repeat our side. On our last side of this round, we're placing our double crochet in that stitch after the corner, front post double crochet around our DC2 together, double crochet in the chain 1 space, and then placing a double crochet in the top of our last stitch there. Then join to the top of the 3rd chain here to close the round. At the end of round 3, you'll have 40 stitches. Now, this center bit pops up a little bit, which I actually like, but once you block it, it'll lay nice and flat. Okay, so now we'll slip stitch over to our first chain 2 space to get started for round 4. Let's start with our chain 3. That counts as our first double crochet. Then double crochet back into that same space, chain 2, and 2 double crochet in the same corner space. Double crochet in the first DC after the corner stitches. Then we're going to double crochet 2 together. Chain 1, double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then repeat that across. Double crochet 2 together, chain 1, and then double crochet in the next stitch right before the corner. Which brings us to our corner stitches of 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now we'll repeat that sequence 2 more times. Double crochet in the first stitch, double crochet 2 together, chain 1, double crochet in the next 2. Double crochet 2 together, chain 1, double crochet in the last stitch before the corner. Now we'll do our corner stitches, 2 DC, chain 2, 2 DC, and then we'll repeat again on the third side. When I get around to the fourth side, we'll continue more of the same. We'll double crochet in that first DC after our corner chain 2 spaces, and then double crochet 2 together, chain 1, place 2 double crochets here, double crochet 2 together, this can get tricky when you have the slip stitches, chain 1, and then double crochet in the last. Join to the top of the third chain with your slip stitch, and at the end of round 4 you'll have 56 stitches. Slip stitching over to our chain 2 space again to get started for round 5. Start with our chain 3, double crochet back into the same stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now we'll double crochet in the first 3 stitches after our corner here. That brings us to our first double crochet 2 together. We'll front post double crochet in that, and then double crochet in the chain 1 space that follows. And in the next 2 stitches we'll place a double crochet each. Now front post double crochet in the DC 2 together stitch, double crochet in the chain space that follows, and then double crochet in the top of each double crochet stitch to our corner space, which is 3 more. And then in our corner we'll place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And then we'll continue that around. Double crochet in the first 3, front post double crochet in the double crochet 2 together, and double crochet in the chain 1. Okay, so we are working on our last few stitches here. These are the ones that we keep slip stitching over to get to our chain 2 space. And just a little tip for you when you're working these kinds of round granny squares, sometimes it can be confusing because I'm looking at what looks like 3 stitches here and only 2 stitches because of the way we join and then go over from that stitch. So like this one has worked, this chain 3 to start has worked in this stitch. So these two go with these. And so when I'm getting confused, I'm seeing a lot of stitches here. I make sure just to look at the body of the stitch so I can match those up, and that helps. They can also be a little bit tight to work into since the slip stitches are tighter. Okay, then join to the top of your third chain to join that round. And at the end of round 5, you'll have 72 stitches. And now we're just going to do a round of single crochets. Mine is an 80% wool blend, so it is blocked out nicely, quite a bit bigger there. If you find that you're working 100% acrylic or yarn that doesn't block out as nicely, then maybe you want to add another round of double crochets to get up to your 6 inches, because our single crochet round really is only going to add like half an inch here, maybe 3/4. So for this one, we can just start where we are and single crochet in that stitch, and then work our single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in each corner. Then just single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, here we are back around. If you remember, we started in the double crochet here, and so I just worked into that one, and now this is my last stitch that I need to place a single crochet in, and then we can slip stitch it together. I'm also a huge fan of the invisible join when you're working in the round, but if you're joining up the squares, then you probably won't see these edges either way. And then you just cut your yarn and weave in your ends.